all, we have gathered for yet another interesting Ecotech talk of Exneco today. And we have with us Mr. Josefa Merchant, who is the founder of InSync Shop Fittings. Our topic for the day today is how the retail industry can innovate to become greener without compromising on profits. We will be talking on SDG 9 and 12 in today's talk. The SDG 9 stands for Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure, and SDG 12 stands for Responsible Consumption and Production. Mr. Merchant is known for his innovative techniques in the retail industry when it comes to shop fittings. The company has been awarded with the Best Shop Fitting Award, Most Innovative Retail Solution Award, City Icon Award for Manufacturing Retail Fixtures, and Mr. Merchant himself has been awarded by the Golden Globe Tiger as the Young Achiever of the Year. We at Exneco are proud to have him at our Ecotech Talk. Exneco stands for Exploration, Networking, and Collaboration. And we are trying to build a platform for sustainable enterprises for the common good. Myself, Shrestha, and Mr. Ravi Kumar are the host for the day.
Welcome.
So my first question.
Welcome, Mr. Josefa.
So my first question to Mr. Josefa is, InSync has 30 years heritage in retail solution. Please take us through the same. Also, how innovative and sustainable are the products at InSync? Kindly enlighten us.
Thank you, Shrestha. Thank you, Ravi, for having me here. It's been a beautiful journey. An organization started by my father in 91, right? And today we are 30 plus years. And it's been a journey that started in a 300 square feet space. And today we are at 170,000 square feet of manufacturing space. So it's been an interesting and I would say successful journey. That being said, we are not resting because our mission is to take Indian innovation to the world.
Great.
Make a name for InSync, synonymous with innovation and technology on the global stage. So that is what has been driving us. And we have a vision of taking it through, and we're on a mission of empowering the future of retail by using or by seamlessly integrating digital technology into physical spaces. Now, when we look at it from that perspective itself, when you start integration of digital technology in itself, you're bringing in a greener initiative, because there is so much that digital can replace in terms of paper. So it is reusable, it is restageable, and it is definitely sustainable, right?
Yes.
Physical spaces are here to stay. They're not going anywhere. So now the idea is threefold for us, right? One, how do you make the entire supply chain, the manufacturing, greener from the production itself? Two, how do you make the stores more eco-friendly? That is, use or consume less power, but give a better output than before.
Yeah.
How do you make it greener from a perspective of how do we use less paper, or how do we package the product in a way where it can be transported in smaller packages? Maybe be more reusable. longevity of the product itself is higher, so that you have less consumption, right? So let me start first by design. Right? We've created components, we've created products which are made from aluminum, which is highly recyclable.
Recyclable, yeah.
We have innovated what we call the fit in light technology, which is where we've integrated power rails into our shop fittings. That means we can integrate lighting, signaging, and digital tablets into the racks itself. Now, if anyone knows retail, they know 70% of time spent in a retail store is at the rack. Most of the decisions that a customer makes are at the rack. So most racks are, I would say, dumb. They have only a single use. They can be shelves just pe kapde rakh do. What we try to do is we try to redefine the role of the rack, right? We added lights inside, which provides 2x illumination as compared to overhead lighting. So, for example, our shelves are illuminated at 2500 lux.
Okay.
There are no shadows on the merchandise. From top to bottom, you get complete light.
Okay.
It uses less power per square feet than overhead lighting. Because when you use overhead lighting, you have to use one light to light up the top of the rack and one light to light up the bottom. So for the same area, you're using that much more power. At the same time, the moment the customer goes in front of the rack, the light is coming from behind you.
Exactly.
And because it's coming from behind you, it casts a shadow on the shelves. So the light, the stronger the light, the sharper the shadow. So just imagine you're spending on lights when a person standing there, your shadow is even darker on the product. Yahan tak ki on certain shelves, we've also noticed that the lighting almost becomes zero at certain times. So firstly, how do we? So by integrating lighting into the shelves, we've improved the overall efficiency of the store in terms of lighting efficiency. At the same time, we've reduced the cost of power by 20%. So less consumption of power. Now, coming back to how it starts from design, right? So from design itself, the use of materials, the use of recyclable materials is part of our design endeavor.
Okay.
Then we talk about procurement and manufacturing. From a procurement perspective, every component that we use in our shop fittings is designed by India, in India by Indian engineers, is produced using Indian raw material, and within the country and close to home. So that means
no logistic burden.
Yes, exactly. No logistics burden. You're not spending huge amount of money shipping things from China or Germany or other places. In fact, we are exporting, we are not importing.
Great.
Right? Wonderful. Second, when it comes to manufacturing processes, now there are two parts that we have taken, two initiatives that we've taken. One is how to improve human health. So we have reduced the processes which affect human health, like stainless steel buffing. Stainless steel buffing is proven to reduce a human being's health or life by at least 10 years. The dust that goes into his ear, into his nose, the steel dust reduces his life. So instead, we are using a chambered blasting process, and we've created an entire new finish for stainless steel, which lasts longer. It has a 15-year life without fading. Stainless steel generally fades with time, so you have to rebuff it.
It's in the enclosed environment you're talking about, so that there's not much pollutant or toxicity outside.
Absolutely. And the final finish of the coating is given by a dipping process. So again, from a human perspective, there is no harm caused to any human being while it's being done. Secondly, we are using automation in terms of design. We're using a lot of automation, robotics, lasers. Instead of using normal welding, argon-based welding, we're using laser-based welding. Again, the power consumption of laser-based welding is less than half. The consumables and the gases that are used are less than half, and the finishing at the same time is better.
Yes.
We're using robotics, again, because of the use of robots, because of the use of laser cutting, we're again using less consumables.
Wastage is
Because
minimal.
of the wastage is minimal. Robotic welding also puts more production out in less time, so we're using less electricity.
Understood.
So from all three perspectives, we have created a more sustainable, a more eco-friendly production environment. Our factory is also built in a linear method. That means there is no waste on the shop floor. I consider time also as a resource, and I consider the wastage of time or the wastage of raw material as a very big waste. So when we design based on the correct cutting sizes based on the raw material availability. So we have minimum wastages. When we are producing, the factory operates in a manner where whatever is taken from the stores in the morning is completed as a process and sent for the next process, whether it's an in-house process or packaging, by the end of the day. So there is no raw material on the shop floor. So there can be no pilferages, damages, or wastages.
Exactly.
Every station checks the production quality of the station before it does its job. So there is no wastage of material at the last stage. कि हाँ सब बन गया फिर quality control ने उसको reject कर दिया. No, that doesn't happen.
Good, very good.
If it has to get rejected, it has to get rejected during the process so it can be salvaged. So we are not wasting raw materials.
Yeah. So this is also sustainability, to be frank. So people think like sustainability is something that it's totally green that they need to achieve. So small steps create a lot of impact on the environment. So you explained very well. So this is the right definition of sustainability, to be frank. So coming to your experience centers, I think you have a lot of experience centers in different part of the globe. So what are you feeling like, sir? Regulations on environment and sustainability. So how you're seeing the changes on the
See,
environment?
the way I see it, digital. Okay, now let me explain a very simple fundamental to you. When there is an end of season sale, EOSS, every retail brand which has multiple stores does so many things, right? They will print posters. Then those posters will have to be sent to the store. Somebody will have to put it together. Now, to manage all of this, you need a team of people. There are a number of activities that are happening. There's so much of print happening, so much of glue being used, so many things that harm the environment. Now, because of the electrification of our fixtures, we first already explained that the lighting itself is better. Because the lighting itself is better, the efficiency of lighting is better, we reduce the cost of lighting as well as the cost of power used for lighting by 20%. Now, by integrating digital signages or screens into the racks, we are creating paperless retail. That means agar EOSS hai, a person can sit in their office, they can upload an artwork, a video, whatever they want to upload, and deploy it across, not across stores, across countries, across stores, if they have to, from a single location overnight.
Yes.
No print, no operational cost, no 100 people coordinating 100 things with 100 vendors. all
No
gone.
logistics.
No logistics.
Logistics, yeah.
Very big operational efficiency. Now, again, when we talk about retail is based on ROI. Now, when you cannot think only about capex, you have to think about opex more than you think about capex.
Yeah, yeah.
So here we are not only reducing capex, because every time you print, you are adding capex. Every time you create something, you are adding capex. Here, if you create a digital film, the usability is 10x, 20x, 30x, and we are able to deploy it without any operational cost.
Yeah.
So we've reduced capex, we've reduced opex, we've improved profitability. At the same time, we've improved engagement with the content because it's digital. कुछ बराबर नहीं हुआ, change कर दो. There's no cost to it, except for
Yes.
creation of content.
Yeah. Are you
Correct.
getting any direction from government, like for the regulations on the sustainability as of now, Mr. Yusufa? Because
No, nothing that we know of. Whatever initiatives we've taken so far have been initiatives that we've been taking because
self-interest.
obviously you want to leave a good world for your children and the children that come after you, right? And
Great.
I believe that everybody that is, and retail is a huge contributor to pollutants, production of products, even raw materials that are used for creating stores,
packaging,
now
logistics,
packaging, all of this. Now, very interestingly, when we are creating fixtures, when we are designing for stores specifically, we design fixtures which are freestanding. Why do I do that? And what is so important? Creating a false wall to mount the fixtures is both a cost and an environmental impact, because you're using paint, you're using plaster of Paris, you're using metal or wood structure, whatever, to create that false wall. If I create a fixture which is freestanding, it doesn't need a wall.
and
So the false wall is not required.
Easily customizable.
Absolutely. And it's not required. If I need to move it from one store to another, I need to pack it and go. I don't have a wall. I don't have anything else in the background. There is no paint. There's nothing. You can put maybe a wallpaper, a wall covering, and just
Very
put the
good.
fixtures in front and it's good.
Yeah, this in fact reduces the cost. So my next question to you is, what are the key strategies that retail companies can implement to reduce their carbon footprint and promote sustainability? Because you have already spoken in that direction. A few more examples can you share with us?
So I'll just give you a couple of examples. Now, when we're doing work for a footwear chain across India, we've done more than 300 stores. We reduced the lights from 120 lights per store to 60 lights per store.
Wow.
Right? We removed the entire process of creating false walls. So when they get a store, we have created modules for them. Those modules they get mounted onto the store, and they're standing in front of the wall, maybe a couple of anchor points on the wall, and we are ready to go. So now in this case, we were able to do three things. One, obviously, we were able to reduce the cost of construction. We're also reducing the material usage during construction. So increased sustainability, reduced cost. We reduced the number of lights, we reduced the power consumption by almost 20%. Reduce the capex cost also of the additional lights, and obviously reduce the power consumption cost. So that is an operational cost which they are gaining from on a day-to-day basis, and hence improve profitability. Now we are working with them to create digital signages within the racks throughout the stores, so that they're able to do that. Now, because of the electrification, we've already created a platform for digitalization for them. So when they want to go digital, they don't need to change the store again. They just need to add on to that store. So again, the whole wastage of the old fixtures being removed to create new digital fixtures is gone. They just need an additional components which can be plugged and powered within the existing stores. So there is no duplication or no additional usage of new fixtures. It's just moving a step forward because the platform was already created. An electrified platform was already created for them to mount their digitalization into.
Beautiful, sir. Even I was seeing your few of the stores, to be frank. So it is so smartly designed, so very attractive, because that is a USP. Basically, if any product has been displayed, it's not only product, how it has to be showcased. It's very important. That you're enabling in a sustainability way. That's really appreciated. And also coming to one my question, like so it coming to education. Okay, so how you're educating your employees, or it could be a consumer, to recycle, reuse, and reduce. So what is that? Can you able to comment on that? What's that you're doing that right now?
It's a culture thing, right? Now, when it comes to employees,
Mm,
simple things like if you print something, अगर हम प्रिंट करते एक साइड पेपर का यूज होता है, दूसरा साइड वेस्ट हो जाता है.
mm,
So when you are taking notes during a meeting, bring those prints which are now not useful and use the back of it to take notes. Everybody is being informed of why we are doing it. See, every employee needs to know why.
exactly.
When I say material come use karo,
Yeah.
I'm not talking to my employees, okay, use less raw material because the company will profit more.
Yeah.
Use less raw material because this resource belongs to the country. ये भारत का resource है.
Mm-hmm.
आपको इसको वेस्ट करने का कोई हक नहीं है. Right? That is the communication that is going through. Yes, the company has to is benefiting from it, but at the same time, wastage benefits nobody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So whether the wastage of time, the wastage of resource, the rework in our organization is a taboo. If you're doing the same work again, you're wasting time and resource. So every aspect of the organization, everything that we build, every communication within the organization is talking about how resource is important. Now, whether that resource is time, material, manpower, whatever it is. But wastage is a crime.
Yeah, exactly. Even overproduction
And
is a crime, to be frank.
Absolutely. So very good. We do not overproduce. We do not produce. We are producing just in time. मेरे फैक्ट्री में अगर रॉ मटेरियल स्टोर्स ने डिप्लॉय किया शॉप फ्लोर पे, it has to get converted into a product and it has to be put into the next process, whether it's finishing or packaging within the same cycle, within the same day. There cannot be any production which stays on our shop floor. We don't have a warehouse.
Wonderful.
The only warehousing that we do is if there's a container, production time is 15 days. So the life cycle till the last product is made, 15-20 days ka warehousing karna hai for the container to be pushed. That is the only space we have.
Okay,
Our raw
so
material.
this actually brings me to an interesting question. It's like, what role does supply chain management play in sustainability efforts of retail companies? And what practices can be adopted to make the supply chain more sustainable?
See, we've learned one very simple thing, right? Everything has a cycle time. Certain things have to be made in large batches because otherwise it doesn't work. Certain things can be made in small batches. Maybe the cost of making it in a small batch might be higher, but the cost of wastage is much higher.
Okay.
So if something can be made in a small batch, we will only make it in a small batch. If something has an MOQ and has to be made in a large batch, that's how we'll make it. If something, so the cost of warehousing, the cost of managing the material is a cost. So Zara, And a lot of fast fashion brands now have adopted where they have a short life cycle for a product. Very sustainable, because you finish the product, you make one batch, finish it, it's out, the next batch is in, the next design is in. There is freshness, customers like it, it's highly profitable. At the same time, if you look at certain brands, they recycle. If something is not selling in this store, it'll go to the next store
Mm-hmm.
and a new product will come here. Again, highly sustainable.
Yeah.
So ideally, product should not be on the shelf for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. If that cycle remains, then it's a problem. So we are trying to educate the local Indian retailers, the merchants, that you have to understand that there's a cost of the stock that is lying on your shop floor. And if it's on your shop floor for more than X number of days, then you're losing profitability. So instead of creating a lot of racks full of product and using your stores as warehouses, you do hanging and stacking. You reduce the number of merchandise on the shop floor and increase the number of times you roll your money or your stock. When we are designing or working with them to design stores, we try to promote self-management of the store. We try to promote, try to explain to them why, although I'm not a retail consultant, it's not my job. I am a shop fitting manufacturer. My job is to make furniture, give it to them. In fact, if I make more shelves, I make more money. But
Yeah.
we believe that every retailer that works with us, if they are more sustainable, they have lower operational costs, they are going to be more profitable and they can grow faster. And we would want to be part of the growth journey. And that is probably one of the reasons that most of the customers that we work with, we've worked with over a decade.
Mr. Safa, thanks for enlightening us actually. So because any product can be sustainable, a good entrepreneur can think in a sustainable way in any part of the business that you showed us, to be frank, even for our viewers, I guess. So shop fitting, how the materials used and the shop fitting accessories, how that can be sustainable. So definitely it's a very enlightening one. So considering the time, so we can have many more sessions definitely. So very enlightening one. So what is your message for young entrepreneurs? Because and also people make a lot of excuses for themselves on taking the responsibilities and making themselves in the success journey. So minimum people are trying. So but what is that message that you want to bring to young entrepreneurs uh, from your point of view, like how they can be successful?
See, to be very honest, challenges, problems, excuses, I mean, challenges, problems are all part and parcel of life, right? It's how you approach it, how you overcome it, how you extract opportunities out of adversities that defines whether you're going to be successful or fail, or you're going to be a failure. That defines who you are. I'm 95% blind. If I can run a design centric business, there should not be people who can give excuses for their disabilities or their limitations. Correct. So first and foremost, खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे बता तेरी रजा क्या you
Just WhatsApp status.
you enable yourself. You have been provided with the same tools, the same number of hours, the same opportunities to gain knowledge that everyone else has. Right? Yes, sometimes some people have less money, sometimes people have more money. But in today's day and age, education has become YouTube, internet has become accessible to most. So at least those who have got the access to education or access to these tools have no excuses for failure.
Yes.
When it comes to sustainability, people get trapped in jargonism. सस्टेनेबल बनाना है, ग्रीन बनाना है, ये कुछ करना है, वो कुछ करना है, बड़ा बड़ा बहुत सोचते हैं. Small consistent steps taken with a purpose will have far better results than large flamboyant steps.
Exactly.
खाली ग्रीन बताने के लिए
Hmm.
ग्रीन करना, सोलर बना दिया तो ग्रीन है, आई एम नॉट वेरी श्योर. Yes, we are moving towards solar ourselves as well. But before we do that, which is such a large expense and the ROI is very, very difficult, there are far too many smaller steps that could have been taken to keep our company both sustainable and profitable.
Small at big impact.
Correct. So it is always better to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you use things like Kanban, you use things like 5S.
Yes.
You keep your shop floor clean, you keep your environment clean. हमारे shop floor पे आपको कहीं पर भी you will not find any dust, dirt, any packaging material lying around, nothing.
Yeah.
So it's a good environment. Sustainability is also about providing a good environment,
Yes.
right? Small things, they don't cost too much. It just takes time and effort, and you have to create a perspective of sustainability. It's not always about large, expensive initiatives. It's about being mindful, and it's about building a culture. And cultures cannot be built overnight, right? So you have to be mindful of what your culture needs to be. And you have to work towards it year on year, keep reinforcing the idea onto the old people, ensure that they are reinforcing ideas onto the newer generation that joins your company. And once you've created the culture, it goes on. Right. So I think younger entrepreneurs need to figure out, one, yes, you need to grow fast. Because that's how the ecology has become today. But while you're growing, you should also be mindful of the fact that if you create the right culture within your organization, it's going to sustain your organization over decades or even eons, like the
Correct.
Tata Group.
Correct.
Right? Or like GE or like Toyota. These companies are where they are because they've got a culture, they've created their own ideology, own way of thinking, and that's important. Everyone, when they talk about sustainability or when they talk about going green, they talk about a lot of big initiatives. And most of those initiatives tend to either fail or fizzle away over time. So, yeah, a lot of those things have been discussed on a number of occasions with us also. When we're talking to retailers, and they'll come up with big plans, which require a big amount of investment. And we try to move them to, you know what, why don't you first create a platform, a platform with our electrified systems, and then we can keep staging those platforms with initiatives. So let's stage your phases, and let's keep different objectives. So we've done that very well with, again, one of the brands where like I explained to you, that we've created a number of 300 plus stores. First, we put the electrified fixtures in with the lighting. We put signages into the racks. Now we are talking about digitalization. So, they're phasing it over time. So even the investment is phased over time. It is not at one go. So that itself is sustainable. Growth also needs to be sustainable. If you try to grow too fast and try to do too many big things, it is not sustainable. So that's the interesting
step-by-step approach with continuous improvement and thinking
Small steps.
small steps,
Correct.
big impacts. That does definitely
Yes.
make a